Hey! Look who's back! Oh, it's like a bad smell just keeps returning. So YouTube gave me a 2 weeks holiday. Thank you, YouTube. I appreciate it very much. Fully enjoyed my time emancipated from your platform. Needless to say, I've been recording my thoughts, and I have about 15 videos, and there are about half a dozen which are sequential on the same theme, and the theme is self-actualization, self-realization, philosophy, spirituality, ontology and religion and all those things. And I'm speaking about feelings and experiences and knowledge, and results of philosophizing. So the reason why I mention this is because lots of you are given by the clickbait aspect of any given video, and my videos are not subject to that. I don't use that. I play the content down, if anything, because I'm not trying to draw in thousands of viewers. I want intellectual, pensive, spiritual people, because anybody else listening to my videos are wasting their time. And so I'm not about to draw in the masses, and so invariably I just put up one line, something that just comes to mind, spirit tells me. But if I'm speaking for the best part of an hour, then I go off on many tangents, and I'm including many varieties of topic, subject matter and things like that, and so you'll never get an idea really of what I'm speaking about if you're going from the title. So I've said this hundreds of times in the past: if you enjoy my videos, then if anything, just pick randomly, but if you have the time, then pick sequentially and just go through them incrementally, because as I upload new videos from day to day, I'm very often following a theme, and I'm carrying on from something which was before. And if you just hit this video because you think the title looks great and befitting to whatever you've got in your mind's eye about it, well, you would have missed the main body and the content of it, because it would have been in all the preceding videos. That's how my videos are. I don't put up one video with one subject and encapsulate the whole thing that you can possibly know on the world in 1 hour. It doesn't work like that, people. My videos have spanned a good portion of my life, and to be quite honest, I've only ever scratched the surface of anything. So there's some great videos if you like my content, and if you are intrigued by my journey towards eternal gnosis, on the path, if not enjoying the path of enlightenment. But there's always more questions, there's always more feelings, there's always more intuitions, and I don't think it's going to be ending any day soon. And so what I would like to say is that the first video is my 6th therapy session, which took place 2 weeks ago, and it's really starting to get warmed up now. And my therapist, she is a doctor. She has a doctorate, a PhD in psychology, and she's proving to be very proficient at what she's doing. And when you listen to this next video of my 6th therapy session, you'll see how we are engaging and negotiating and working things out as to which is the best approach dealing with my parts. And you'll see in subsequent the next video, number 7, that I'm putting up quite a lot of resistance. There's parts of me which have been so deeply embedded for many, many years, all my life, some of them, to try to turn them around, to try to get them to stand down and let other less powerful parts come forward, is taking a lot of doing. And I'm very cognizant of this. I'm in a constant sort of, or we are in a constant sort of negotiation or big business deal. You could say battle with a small b, but there are these parts that automatically take over. But what my intention to go to therapy was premised on was twofold. One, so I can get the written documentation of whatever my professional assessment is, so I can present that then to the government if they want to try to coerce me at a future date. But the other fork was that there was a part of me which is growing and becoming more prominent tentatively, that feels that there may be some unfinished business out in the matrix, and I don't know what that is. I don't know what shape or form that would come in, but this part of me I am nurturing, and it's kind of like the smallest brother or sister. It keeps getting its face pushed out, and I keep having to be pretty firm and adamant and respectful to all the others and saying, listen guys, we're just having a look at some stuff. It doesn't mean that your authority is going to be undermined. The chances are it won't be, but we're just having a look at this. We're just seeing what kid brother or kid sister has to say as an individual who is now growing and maturing, and we have to realise that we come to a certain age and we should be within a similar realm of maturity, right? And so it's time now to let this deep inner child, in one respect, mature, come forward and see if there is any potential for its development alongside the others, maybe even to supersede, to usurp many of the others, if not temporarily, maybe indefinitely. I don't know, but this is the thing, you see, when you are introspecting, when you are philosophizing, when you are psychoanalyzing, when you are listening to your intuition and you're in touch with God's spiritual consciousness. There's a lot of stuff going on, and so that's what's going on now in these sessions. The sessions have been very, very informative and great, and my therapist is very happy with how things are going, and I'm happy also. And so this number 6 session was tentatively starting to do what they call eye movement exercises. Now in this therapy, which is, it's kind of like internal family systems, or it's also called accelerated experiential diagnostic psychology, something like that. And so my therapist is working with an amalgamation of these things, and she uses this eye movement thing. And what the eye movement thing is it's a kind of sedation, you know, mild hypnosis. She asked me to follow the pen with my eyes, and she does this for about 20 or 30 times, and then she asked me to take a deep breath and then maybe close my eyes and speak about what I'm feeling or what I'm thinking. And the endeavour behind this method is to close down the prevalence of our everyday thought. You know, the whole trust in me, hypnotic technique. Well, it's just to get you just a little bit sedated, just a little bit unfocused from all the stuff that we are highly focused on, you know, particularly probably when we go into a therapy session. So this takes that away, and this allows a moment's respite from the activity of the mind for the unconscious to maybe start feeding something. And so it appears to be pretty effective. I don't know how more effective it is, whether she just asked me to become pretty sedated, and but she knows I am a hypnotherapist, so she knows I know how to do that, and so doing this thing is pretty easy for her because I can quickly get in tune with that, and I know what she wants to do, and I know that I should become sedated, and I know that I should be turning off my internal dialogue, and so I do that, and I'm doing everything I possibly can to help her, to help me to retrieve suppressed or unconscious thoughts. And then when the suppressed thoughts, the unconscious thoughts, the uncomfortable thoughts come forward in a safe environment, then they can have exposure, and they can have their vocalization, and they can express themselves of how they feel and felt all those years ago, and then we can assimilate how the inner child is feeling, because we've brought it to the surface, we've brought it into the future. So the adult is dealing with the child at the same time, simultaneously, and what we're endeavouring to do is to build a relationship with that child, and for the child not to go back where it was and has been for all these years, but to stay in relationship with the adult, and indeed to metaphysically evolve into an adult, to merge with the adult and to become adult. And so there's no individuation as the child lurching in the darkness, you know, suffering from trauma and distress and feeling unloved and all those sort of things. So the endeavour is to bring these younger versions of us into the future, and then amalgamate them as one, and hopefully have resolve on the previous traumas which were left unresolved. So it's very good, it's very exciting, and it's very good for someone like me who is very interested in psychology. And so what I've been doing is I've been listening to many psychologists speaking about varying therapies and how they work and how they were born and what they're used for and what the efficacy is and all these sort of things. So I have a knowledge of, you know, lots of these things, and I'm making suggestions to my therapist that we should include this and we should include that, and there's this part of me that needs addressing, and there's that part of me that needs addressing. So her work is pretty well laid on a platter for her. It's not like I'm completely unaware of all this stuff that's going on and she's got to weed it out. I don't know which is easier, to be fair. I think she's really struggled with me because of my knowledge in so many realms, which has made it pretty difficult to see the wood from the trees. But now we're moving into the second part of our journey together, the last 10 sessions, maybe not the last, but it's the last in this sequence. I have 20 hours allocated to me. I've used up 10 of them so far. And so now we're over those teething initial hurdles. We should be able to get down to some business. And indeed, in the 7th session, which I had 2 days ago, effectively I went into regression to find this small boy who was abandoned, and his mother suicided, and he went into children's homes and felt unloved, and all these different sorts of, you know, emotions and things, which was very destabilising for the child. And then the remnants of that still persist today, very powerfully. So it's been bringing about a recognition of all this stuff, and applying reason and intelligence to it, and working out whether we want to move forward or not, whether I want to do this work or not. And she has to ask me a lot of the times, do I want to do that? Are my other parts happy with that? And I say, maybe not entirely, but the core essence of me, have asked them to stand down so the younger sibling can come forward. In this case, it's the younger me, it's the 4-year-old child. So the 4-year-old child can feel comfortable coming forward and convey how he felt, and then I convey how I feel, and then we try to amalgamate, meld our feelings. We have a resolve on it. We hug each other in our mind's eye, and we become one, and then we decide that let the past be the past, and now let's head towards the future. So it's pretty complex, people, and it is very useful if you are of a mind to know thyself. And I'm thoroughly enjoying it, because whilst I have 2 weeks to contemplate on the last session, then I'm watching many other videos and learning about resistance, and asking myself many questions of where am I going, why do I have thoughts about going somewhere else, when there's parts of me which are absolutely like pigs in shit presently how they are. But I just think if I'm going to evolve somewhat more, then I have to now go back out into society, and to put my knowledge and my practice and my tools and my personal development into play, to see how much I have actually learned, and what my levels of tolerance are, and acceptance, and if I can exhibit compassion, and I can speak about being compassionate freely without dismissing these concepts as nothing, if I can embrace the concept of love, even though we can't nail it down as a philosopher, if I could just forget about the cerebral thing, and just come from supposedly the heart. But you know, even that, in recent videos, I'm like, emotion doesn't come from the heart. Emotion derives from chemicals, and we're just a chemical machine, and goodness me, we can destroy the whole human experience if we so desire. And, you know, this is what quantum physics have done, quantum mechanics, in relation to the universe. They've destroyed it. They've taken away any semblance of physical reality, and left it, well, at the mercy of future generations to pick up the pieces. We've got the Newtonian macro physics, and we've got the quantum micro physics, and they don't marry up, and the whole world is in a conundrum as to what we're going to do about this. And so this is why now people are suggesting that we bring in consciousness and spirituality and intuition into the physics lab, and most physicists are vehemently opposed to this because they've never been trained in it. They've got no idea. But we need new people. We need people coming out of university with degrees in philosophy, spirituality and science, because that's the only way forward when we've got expansive minds like that, which can look at more than one facet. They're not just looking down, you know, the spectrum of a microscope, or looking out into space with a telescope. There's something in between that needs to be reckoned with. And it doesn't pertain to the eternally small, it doesn't pertain to the eternally large, it pertains to that mass of ineffable, conscious and intuition related stuff, spiritual stuff, religious stuff, all this metaphysical stuff, stuff that's outside of the physical. We have to start to address stuff which is metaphysical with the physical. And so we have to bring science and theology and spirituality to the boardroom table. Anyway, people, just an introduction into this. I'm suitably impressed and respectful to my therapist. We are getting along very, very well. And the conversations are very interesting to those who are interested in this sort of thing, as I've said. So, see how you go. I'm going to put a 1 to 6 or 1 to 8 in front of videos which are sequential, and albeit it's not entirely important that you follow the sequence, you'd be better able to grasp where I'm coming from if you get things in that particular order, rather than listening to the end instead of the beginning, you know. But I've had to listen to the videos again to see which ones to put in the order, because they're not in any sequential order. They're not dated or time-stamped on my computer, and so I can't remember what I said when, but I can follow my own train of thought and go, okay, this one comes before or after that one. So there you have it, people. See how you go. There's some insightful stuff as usual. Not the sort of stuff that you're going to be taking away big things within a 10-minute video. Oh, that gave me something big, that was great, that was worth it. No, this deep inner spiritual conscious work, it's tiny increments of sand which ultimately are going to build a mountain. And it takes a long time. You have to have a great deal of patience, and if you don't have the patience, and if you just want the big answers straight away, well, I would think that you're not suitably endowed enough to be able to receive the big answers, because you don't have any of the small ones. You've got to humble yourselves. You've got to ensure that you're in it for the long haul. In actual fact, it's a lifetime, and on your dying day you'll still be contemplating things that you haven't got a clue how it works, or maybe you just need a little bit more time and all this sort of stuff. So it isn't everyone's bag. Not many people have the patience or the aptitude or the interest. But see how you go, and drop a few comments down if you feel moved to do so.